John Fia here for the virtual office hours. Welcome 141 students. Here's a little bonus track for you, if you want to call it that. Megan, Piet, and I were just talking about how we should think about this one. I just wanted to do a quick little video to clarify for you. I've been using these terms in class, Federalist number 1 and Federalist number 2. And I think many of you are getting it, but I just want to make sure all of you do. So I thought we'd shoot a little extra video here that we can put up on the Sakai site and on the blog so that you get a sense of this. When we talk about Federalists, or at least as I'm calling them, Federalist number 1s, we're really referring to those so-called founding fathers, those men and women who supported the United States Constitution. In other words, the Federalists were the people who thought the Articles of Confederation was not good. We need to replace it, and let's create a constitution, and then let's write these Federalist papers written by Madison, John Jay, and Alexander Hamilton to promote the United States Constitution. So we have the Federalists, supporters of the Constitution, and then of course their opponents would be the anti-Federalists, those who did not think the Constitution was a good idea because it took away a lot of liberty and it took away a lot of the power of the states. It took away a lot of local government. So those are the Federalist 1s. The Federalist 2s, if you go back and look at some of the last couple of virtual office hours we did, is really sort of maybe a word we might use for the political group or the political faction. Not necessarily a party, political party yet, but the group that's in power in the 1790s. So Washington, his Vice President Adams, and especially Alexander Hamilton would represent what we might call the Federalist faction or Federalist number 2s. Now, many Federalist number 1s, supporters of the Declaration of Independence, of the Constitution, would become Federalist number 2s. But not all Federalist number 1s would become Federalist number 2s. And the primary example of this is someone like James Madison, who supports the Constitution and is, in many ways one of the leaders of the constitutional movement. So he's certainly a Federalist. He writes the Federalist Papers and so forth. But later in the 1790s, he's going to be uncomfortable with the way the Federalist 2s, Washington, Adams, Hamilton, are using the Constitution or envisioning the United States. So he's ultimately going to side with Thomas Jefferson's vision for America. So in the late 1780s, you have the Federalist 1s. They support the Constitution. Their opponents are the anti-Federalists. Later in the 1790s, you're going to have the Federalists. They're going to be Federalist 2s. They're going to be the political leaders. And their opponents are eventually going to become the faction that surrounds itself around Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, and others. So hopefully that clarifies things a little bit and gives you some sense of the way I'm using these terms, Federalist 1 and Federalist 2. See you in class.